The following program is for mature audiences only. The views expressed by the people and other guests on the podcast are their opinions and their own and don't reflect the institutions or establishments that they work for. So please do not get our asses fired or canceled. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show. What's up, Glad Gang? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. However you choose to receive this metadata that comes out in the audio or video format, however you're receiving this information or this broadcast, I hope that you are enjoying your day, your morning coffee, your afternoon tea, your carbonated sports beverage, your pre-workout. If you partake, if you are partaking on an adult beverage, whether it be a frothy, tasty beer, or whether it be a glass of port while you play chess in your study and listen to this podcast, however you consume it, welcome to Glad You Made It podcast. My name is Jay Whittaker. I appreciate you coming through to listen. And I also want to take this time to show some love to the Patreon subscribers. Alinda, Monica, Kelsey, Aaron, Kyle, Andy, Dr. Paul, and Matt. You are all wonderful people, and I appreciate you just trying to just support our brother and help him pay these podcast fees. So y'all are supporting the podcast and keeping this podcast ad-free for now. I'm probably going to add some ads of just personal people that I want. But yeah, if you'd like to join the Glad Gang, go to patreon.com/gladyoumadeit. And we appreciate y'all. Joining me is my amazing, beautiful wife, Kat Umano Whittaker. How you doing, babe?
Hello. I'm good.
Cool. How was your weekend?
It was productive.
Yeah, okay, all right. Just let us know how like what happened? What happened during your weekend? Because I was working.
You were. I sheetrocked downstairs.
I know, she's sheetrocking downstairs. So yeah, so we had a little bit of incident during last year. And we've honestly just time has kind of gotten away from us. And her and mom redid the sheetrock. And I'm very happy and very proud, and I appreciate you doing that while I was at work. So that is my early gratitude for my wife doing the sheetrock in the house. I appreciate that shit.
I am proud of myself.
All right, cool. Why are you talking like that? Just talk. Just talk regular. What's going on?
I'm proud of myself.
All right, there we go. I was like, are you going to talk like this the rest of the episode? This is Gratitude.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Welcome
Hello.
to Glad You Made It podcast. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, just talk normal. So yeah, we just been chilling. I'll tell you right now, we got a killer episode for y'all today. Holy shit. I'm going to give it I know we have a disclaimer on this podcast, but I'm going to give it a second disclaimer. This episode will get into, September, as we record this, is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and we'll have some. This episode will have some moments of suicidal ideation, as well as some very triggering moments, full of. So just be mindful of that, But it's a great episode. I'll tell you that right now. We got comedian Narado Moore, aka Rod for short. You may know him from Roy's Job Fair on Comedy Central podcast. It's a hilarious podcast. Make sure you check out Rod's podcast, Uncle Rod's Story Corner. I'll tell you right now, it ain't for the weak. There's one episode called I Put Nair on My Balls. And or I think that's the episode title is like I put Nair on my balls. I have not done that, and I don't plan to.
I don't think you're supposed to, but doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can, but I would prefer anyone not. So, we've been consuming. It's been a good TV week for us. We've been consuming. Game of Thrones is back, and we are thoroughly enjoying it.
It got good this week.
Yeah, it got nasty.
Got weird, but it got good.
Yeah, like I was just like, oh, this shit is gross, but cool. Good for
we back.
Yeah, I know. Like it's exactly. Is like that's what
it's getting gross again. We back.
Yeah. Baby, let me hold on. Your level's like loud as shit. I don't know what's going on, but we'll fix that in post. Probably not, but whatever. Turn your game down just a little bit. Yeah, we're keeping this in the episode. All right. But who's your favorite character right now, Game of Thrones wise? I gotta ask.
Ooh. That's tough because
I know. Well, my personal favorite, I'll give you because I just kind of sprang that question on you. Like my personal favorite right now is Rhaenyra. A lot of people don't like, but honestly, I got to give it to Kristen Cole. Like, I like this dude, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I just like this dude. He's an outsider, and he's just doing the best he can do to fit in, and good for him. I'll just say that. Good for him.
Yeah.
You like?
I do really like Rhaenyra a lot. She has a very interesting storyline, but I think the king is also fascinating. Was it Viserys?
Yeah.
His name?
Yeah.
He's also in a very interesting position right now in his life. So that's been
poor
cool.
guy. Yeah, like I feel for the like. There are times where I'm like I want to be in charge, but then I don't. So if you're listening and you hear that moaning in the background, that's our dog Wilson.
I know. Sorry.
No. Pick him up. Just let it. Like for those who are watching, you will get to see this. We put the episodes on YouTube if you'd like to consume them that way. But yeah, Wilson had an oatmeal bath
moments ago.
Yeah, moments ago. Yeah, this dog is getting like better treatment than we treat ourselves. He had an oatmeal bath because he got like some sort of rash situation. So we decided to give him an oatmeal bath. We played some Enya for him. And then we charged him $100 an hour. And then he walked out. He walked out on us. He ran out on us. He didn't even tip us.
You beat me to it. No tip.
No tip. It's all good. So let's see. What else do I want to get into? That's right. I got shows coming up as we record this. I got shows. I'll be at Nick's Comedy Stop this weekend in Boston. Come through, see me. And then the weekend after, I will be at Wise Guys Ogden Friday and Saturday. That is the 22nd and 23rd, I believe, probably.
FanX weekend.
Yeah, and I'll be there for FanX. I'm on a couple panels, but the biggest one that you need to be there for is Geek Show Live. Geek Show Podcast, we haven't done a live panel since 2019. This will be our first time back doing a live panel. It will be filmed. We were... Yeah, I won't try to make promises, but I do know it will be filmed, and hopefully this will be a launching board and a stepping stone to get us to other cons. And so, if you are in the area, come check us out there. Wise Guys Ogden, shit, I have to admit right now, babe, I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty damn happy with some things. We were watching the footage, some of the footage from the special that I did a couple of weeks ago. It was pretty cool.
It was. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, your support means a lot. It does. So we'll keep all this mushy shit and inspirational feel good stuff out of the episode, and we'll move on to let's get some gratitude going. We'll take a quick break. And then get into some gratitude. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Woo.
Hey. All right. So Welcome to the gratitude segment. It is a combination of the word glad you made it and gratitude, and I just decided to do
You
gratitude.
almost forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Look, I don't word good. We gave the dog an oatmeal bath. I'm spent. So this is where Kat hits us with some pretty silly news or good news, some feel good news to keep us going in this world full of despair. What you got?
So you'd be surprised how hard it is to find stories that are just silly.
I'm not surprised at all. This is doom and gloom, Armageddon, climate change is real, whatever. Like, yeah, I did see a story. Well, I'll let you drive. You go ahead, Ben.
Okay. I did have to try to decide. There was one about the corn kid, but I decided to pass on that because he is more than getting his shine right now. So if we don't mention the corn kid, then he'll be fine. Anyway, so first story is headline: Iowa town asks, "Where did we put our time capsule?" So the small northwest Iowa city of Sheldon planned to make the opening of a time capsule one of the centerpiece events of its 150th anniversary this weekend, but it ran into a slight problem. No one is sure where the time capsule is buried.
Well,
so yeah, basically
it's a 150-year-old time capsule, right?
Yeah, so they're trying to find the exact instructions on where to dig because they have to dig into like concrete. I don't know who planned this, but okay. So they're postponing it until they said that its specific location is a bit fuzzy.
Well, yeah. I mean, back 150 years, this is back when, like, what? Post-Civil War shit? If I'm not mistaken, yeah, like, this is back. They hid the place back in. They hid this time capsule back when Game of Thrones was happening. You know, this is baby. Trust me, Game of Thrones is real. 1872. So, yeah, this is what was going on in 18. I'm gonna look this shit up. So they lost it. This is in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sheldon, Iowa.
What the? Who was even in Iowa besides indigenous people that probably got ran out because that story. Let's see what was going on. I'm looking at this. There was the New Zealand Wars that was going on. A lot of wars going on back in 1872.
They had nothing else to do.
The Met opened in New York City. Okay,
that's cool.
Yellowstone National Park became a thing. Okay, all right. So let's see. Wait a minute. A great solar flare happened. Wow. Okay. February 13th of 1872, Mardi Gras happened for the first time. People started showing titties and getting beads in 1872. That's right. Those great post-Civil War tits, and the Reconstruction era. Some President Grant Amnesty Act titties. Yeah, give me those beads and a sarsaparilla or whatever. Let's see. What else happened? Oh, women's suffrage. American suffragist or suffragette.
That's one of your favorite words.
No, it's not. Shut up.
You suffragettes.
Shut up. In defiance of the law, American suffragette Susan B. Anthony votes for the first time in 1872. All right.
Okay. All right. That's kind of a big deal. All right.
Great Boston Fire of 1872.
Excellent.
A large fire begins to burn on. No, that's not, baby. It destroyed like 65 acres of the city.
It's sarcasm.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, but this is the reason why they probably don't have a grid system in fucking Boston. Jesus. Let's see. The Met police strike. A lot of things. Let's see. A lot of things happened. Quite the year.
That's why they couldn't remember where they buried this goddamn time capsule. It's just too many current events to keep up with.
Holy shit. The first FIFA soccer match happened in 1872. Wow. Big pharma started in 1872. 1872 was a pretty big year. the Reconstruction era. Good for them. They didn't know what the hell they were doing by then. They were flying from the seat of their pants. Well, shout out to Iowa for not knowing what the hell they're doing. You know, I mean, but really, let's look up Sheldon, Iowa, and get, like, no disrespect to Sheldon, Iowa, like, this is our first time. This is anyone's first time. Oh my God, no wonder. Sheldon is a city in O'Brien and Sioux County of the United States of the U.S. state of Iowa. The population is 5,512. No wonder no one knows where this shit is. What the fuck is even in an 1872 Sheldon, Iowa time capsule? Is it probably just it's probably a note saying, "Hey, get the hell out of here. This place, what? Sorry, I'm really giving Sheldon, Iowa the business right now. What was this place even known for? For whatever reason, I hope this spikes our listeners in
Iowa.
Yeah,
probably not.
So you're
shitting Sheldon all got over
its. Oh, okay. To be fair, Sheldon got its start in the year 1873. So this okay, all right. I was trying to figure out why I should give a shit. Okay, well, shout out to these people for losing your time capsule. Hopefully, it had some Mardi Gras titty beads in there and some suffragette votes or whatever. I don't know, but shout out to Susan B. Anthony for doing the thing. You know, making it. Oh, I'm gonna get canceled today. All right, this is probably my most cancelable episode. What? Baby, I didn't say anything bad.
I know. Oh my God,
I'm just not
kidding.
well informed. I'm fucking
kidding.
Stupid.
Oh my God, you know more about history than I do. Anyway, you want the second story?
Yeah. Is it gonna make me as pissed as Sheldon, Iowa? Dumbasses.
Probably not. Probably not. This one's just kind of silly. All right. Headline. Microsoft reveals Janet Jackson's song had the power to crash laptops, even if it wasn't playing on them. I saw this?
Yeah, we talked about this. This is funny as hell.
Yeah, and it's so an investigation into the mysterious system failures found that playing the music video didn't just crash the laptop it was on, but it also caused laptops nearby to fail. So,
is it Rhythm Nation?
Long story short, it is Rhythm Nation.
Yeah.
So basically, there was this specific manufacturer, it doesn't say, of laptops that when they would play the Rhythm Nation music video, award-winning Rhythm Nation music video, it would cause that laptop and the laptops around it to crash. And I guess what happened was, it was the song contained a frequency that, what is it?
It contained.
It's the same idea of like an opera singer singing at a certain tone and breaking a glass,
or a brown note in South Park that makes you poop your pants. Yeah, whatever. It's the same difference.
Yeah. So Janet Jackson was ruining computers.
I love it. Shout out to Janet. Rhythm Nation, easily one of her greatest projects. I'm still in love with the Velvet Rope. If you don't have Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope album in your life, get it in your life. It is so damn good. It is timeless. And then I know you like that one song. It's all for you. That's you just like that part. Yeah. But
yeah, I turned it off after the chicka.
No, you should let it keep going. That's a bop.
I'm kidding.
Everyone all right, everyone's mission. As soon as this podcast is over, turn on Janet Jackson's The Velvet Rope album and just listen to it. I would suggest don't listen to it on your way to work, but just listening to you when you're at home. That's like clean your house music. That's vibe. That's like light some incense, drink some brown liquor, maybe get some wine. And then the Janet album, just the first, where she like half naked on, that. I had that on cassette. That did things for me. Anyways, that was the Gratitude segment. Thank you, baby. Anything you want to plug?
No, not right now.
All right. Well, either
follow
way,
me on the things.
Yeah. I was just about to say, plug your shit.
You can find me on basically everything as Cat Umano Whittaker. Umano is Umano.
That's right. So follow her, and we're gonna get right into this episode. I'll tell you right now, like I said, y'all, this is Rod. Rod for short is on this episode. It is going. This I'm gonna tell you right now. This is the most candid and casual. It's gonna take you on a journey. It's gonna start off wild, and it's gonna get real, and it's gonna get wild again. You're gonna hear some wild shit, and I'm so happy that I had a chance to talk to this brother. Like listen to the podcast, but also the whole time, if you're watching if you watch the show, he's in the back just smoking a square. He's just talking to me in his gaming chair, his little Skyrim chair, and smoking a square while he talks to me. And I really, really appreciated this brother just for coming by on the podcast. It was so nice to hear his story, so nice to hear his perspective. He is forever the contrarian. He's a great comedian, ladies and gentlemen. And to everybody who enjoys podcasts, everybody across the world, please to enjoy Narado Moore, a.k.a. Rod for short. What's up, Glad Gang? Welcome back to another dope-ass episode. I'm in the studio, or in his domain. We have, I'm going to read his bio. Like I ask for a bio, a headshot in a bio. And normally I just like, get the cliff notes. Like, hey, you've seen this person on such and such. I'm going to read this bio exactly the way it showed up to me. Narado, Rod for short, Moore, is a comedian from Birmingham, Alabama that was adopted into the Nashville, Tennessee comedy scene. He is the host of Uncle Rod's Story Corner podcast and co-host of Roy Wood Jr.'s Roy's Job Fair podcast, a classic triple threat, performer, whiskey drinker, Skyrim expert. Narado is currently embroiled in a lawsuit with Kanye West over a failed line of cat pajamas. Welcome to the show, Narado, Rod for short, Moore. How you doing, bro?
What's going on? Now, as an addendum to that, I was asked if there was anything I didn't want to talk about, and I got to say the only thing on that list is that lawsuit. I can't really speak on that too much.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I don't snitch. You know what I mean? So, I want to respect. I want to respect your time, your paralegal, your lawyer team. And good luck on your case. In the cat pajamas.
I appreciate that.
Man, all right. So first of all, yes, like if you haven't listened to, I found Rod just by listening to Roy's Job Fair, a great podcast, and man, you would come on and just I won't say disrupt, but like when you cooking and you need that extra seasoning of just that real shit, that's what you come and bring to the table. And I mean, now you showing it used to be like a segment where you just kind of showed up. Now you're just showing up for the full episodes, correct? It seems like you're arriving more early.
Yeah, I'm jumping in and out, man, on a few more things.
Yeah, and so and clearly you've been around. You've been doing comedy a little over 10 years, correct?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
since
Birmingham, Alabama,
exactly like 13 years now.
Damn, and so now you're in Nashville. Like I've been through there. I've done like I think I done stand up live in Zanies, I want to say. But yeah, how's the comedy scene there?
Oh, it's great. It's a good time, man. It's a wonderful thing. And I moved to Nashville in 2014, man, and it's been a party ever since. So
is all right. Is Tennessee, is Nashville like the real South? Like what's considered the real? Everybody always say like what, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia. That's like the real South.
Yeah, Tennessee is definitely the real South. The birthplace of the KKK is in Tennessee. I've had to say that I think that would qualify. Before. Like it happened on Twitter one time a couple years ago when people were having that dumbass conversation they like to have. Like, I don't really consider Virginia the South. Like, you mean where the Washington D.C. of the fucking Confederates were? Like the fucking capital of the Confederate States of America was in Virginia. I don't think it get more southern than that. And,
right.
And the same with Tennessee. Like, I don't really consider Tennessee the South. You mean Pulaski, Tennessee is the birthplace of the KKK. I think that qualifies as Southern as shit.
So, which leads me to my immediate follow-up question: how are you safe-wise? Are you safe? you doing okay? Take care of yourself.
I'm very safe. The best way to describe Nashville is like the white Atlanta.
Yeah.
That
might be perfect.
Yeah,
that might be perfect.
That's how I like to describe it for people. It's just white people's Atlanta. Like, that's where white people from all over the country, that's the cool white city right now. So white people from all across the country moved to Nashville.
Yeah. No, I wasn't in Nashville, but I was outside of Knoxville at McGee Tyson, down in Alcove, Maryville, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I had a chance to. I was there. I showed up around like Juneteenth. Went to the whole Smoky Mountains and watched the fireflies synchronize. I was doing a lot of activity. I didn't know that was a thing. And have you ever done that?
Nah, I've never done no shit like that. That's
so there were the people that I was there with. One person in particular. I'm eventually get her on the episode. She's a great photographer, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go up to see the fireflies synchronize at the Smoky Mountains." I was like, "What the fuck are you even saying to me?" But apparently, that's where people come through and they pay all this money to go up into the forest in the middle of the night with all the lions, tigers, and bears and wolves and shit, and see fireflies basically smash. It's pretty. Yeah. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm sure it is. I bet it was, but like, I'm the type of person that has enough interest to not be stuck with doing some shit like that. Like, that's like, there's enough shit to get into to be like, what the most exciting thing I think I could do today is go watch fireflies fuck. Like, I'm good. All right. I mean, is my internet not working no more? Like, why the fuck am I gonna go do some shit?
Listen, look, there wasn't a lot to do. I was only there for 4 days. I didn't have a lot of time. Okay. So I didn't know you back then. I would have known. I would have driven like a couple hours and met up, and then whatever. You could have shown.
I mean, you were in Knoxville. I get it. Ain't nothing in Knoxville but the University of Tennessee. So I understand.
Yeah. So you could have taken me to what, White Atlanta or whatever.
Yeah. But the South is pretty safe. Like, most people base their opinion on the South on the historical records of the racism and whatnot from back in the day. But like, I've been in the South my entire life. I ain't never been called a nigga by a white person. I ain't never had no problems with white people running from lynchings and shit. Like, like, even like when you watch the news and you see all these, somebody's been killed for being black, like, that shit don't be happening in the South. Like, so, it's a reputation thing. I won't say that I'm bothered by it on a personal note, but a lot of people need to realize that, like, the South it's not what you
There's assholes everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, like, racism is an American institution. It's not a Southern thing.
Right.
Let's not forget that the slaves weren't freed, by Abraham Lincoln because he liked black people. He did it to piss off the South. He didn't do it because he loved niggas so much.
Oh, talk that shit. Talk that shit. Oh, this is exactly why I wanted you to come on. No, man, like, and so you've been doing comedy since 2009. I mean, were you growing up? Were you always the funny cat? Like, were you just?
I was.
How'd you get into comedy?
The weirdest thing about it is I never wanted to be a comedian, and I've been in love with comedy my entire life. But I promise you, from being a child, I listened to all the records, watched all the specials, all the movies, knew it back and forth. But not one time did I ever think, like, I'm going to be a comedian. I want to try that. I never thought about it. I actually got into it quite by accident. Like, the shortest version would be an old coworker from mine from Ruby Tuesday.
Okay.
Ran into him one day in February 2009. I was on a Valentine's Day date at an Olive Garden. and just ran into my man Zach, and he told me he had started doing comedy and told me about the mic he went to. Just so happened, about a month later, I hooked back up with my old best friend from high school. Hadn't really talked to him since high school, but I knew he had been doing comedy, but he got out by the time we met back up. And he just happened to tell me, he was like, I've been thinking about getting into it again, but I don't know where to go in Birmingham to do it. And I was like, I know about an open mic. We'll go down there. And I took him down there, and Zach was there, and they told me I should get on stage. And I was like, I'll write something and come back and try it next week. I went back the next week and killed, and I've been doing it ever since, man.
Hell yeah, that's usually how it goes. It's just like when you don't expect to go. I snuck my way onto a mic. I was like, hey, because I watched like 3 people bomb. Because I was like you. I went to kind of go check it out. You know, I always kind of wanted to do it, but then I watched 3 people bomb in a row, and I was like, let me just try this and just see, like, and I just kind of riffed. I didn't kill, but I did good enough. You know what I mean?
Most people don't, man. Like my situation was an anomaly. Like your favorite, most well-known, biggest, best comedian of all time will tell you 9 times out of 10, their story is, I ate absolute shit on stage the first time. Like most people don't. I was happy enough
to do adequate.
Yeah. And watching people bomb is a great confidence booster. That's why that's the advice I always give people. Like, don't bring a bunch of people. Don't bring friends. Don't tell people. Just go to the show, watch it for like 3 weeks. And a lot of people get their confidence. They're scared to go up because they don't want to look bad. And then they're like, oh man, everybody here is doing terrible. I can do this shit.
Right. And see, like, that to me, so many people need to hear that, because I just say, like, once you just go and because you're so worried about, is this joke 30 seconds or am I going to go over time? Figure out, like, listen to how people sound first and, like, find your own voice. And then especially don't bring your friends. I mean, bring your friends when you start doing well and you want to get the attention of the bookers. That's always important. But, you know, have them show up when you have at least maybe 5-10 minutes, you know.
So don't put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah,
that will keep you from ever coming back. You bring 9 people with you, and they see you eat shit, and then they just crack it on you the rest of your relationship. You're like, I'm never going back to do comedy.
Yeah, that's a long day at work. Absolutely. Yeah, there was a show like that for me where I was like, I brought way too many people. I was confident too. So what I used to do, so my favorite color is purple, and so I would have people wear purple when they come to see me. This is like, bro, I ain't maybe doing comedy like 3 months.
Like a student.
Tell me why
college sports event. All the people in the purple, they were me. They're my fans.
Yeah. Man, tell me why I had 30 disappointed ass people in purple watching me bomb. Half of them worked with me. They came the next day. They're like, "Oh, we got a babysitter for this shit." Oh man, sad, pain.
Oh, bro, I ain't tell nobody. I was doing the first night I did comedy. I was at my girlfriend's crib, and I told her, I was like, I got something to go do tonight. I can't tell you what it is now because I don't want to sound too excited about it. Because if this shit don't go well, it wouldn't have been worth it getting your hopes up about. So. Yeah. After when I come back, I tell you what happened.
But it went good enough, and here we are talking this comics right now, man.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey.
It's like, I think people don't realize how wonderful of a journey it really can be, because you could just get through like the regular shit. It make, like, when I have issues happen. Like, do you find yourself where you have issues happen, or you have to deal with like some pain, and then you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be fire when I work through this"?
You know what? I don't really write personal jokes like that.
Okay,
I don't really use, but I also don't really have issues like that. So I don't be like, comedy's my therapy. Like, I don't really ever have anything going on that I'm like, I need to talk about this, but I ain't got no friends, so I gotta talk to y'all. So, like,
fuck, man, I'm low key jealous of that shit. My black ass was alone for 15 years in Utah.
I mean, listen, I understand. That's a bad spot. I mean, I've been to Utah. You know, like Salt Lake City is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful cities you could ever see. Utah is one of the most gorgeous states in this union. But from a cultural standpoint, as far as the state goes, it ain't cool at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got the Mormon, it ain't cool.
It's got the All-Star game there coming up soon. And I'm like, what is they gonna do?
It's gonna be so many fucking Samoans in that motherfucker. Like, it ain't gonna be no.
They're gonna have people axe throwing and shit. They're gonna have NBA players axe throwing fucking.
It's gonna be part of the point guard skills challenge. They dribble through these cones and throw up this axe as close to the court side as possible.
Oh, we're gonna take a quick short commercial break for Lululemon. The jerseys by Lululemon and shit.
Yeah, Salt Lake City. Man. That was the first airport I was in years ago. They had a smoking section. I fell in love with it. Apparently, the dude that owned the airport was like, as long as it's my airport, you can smoke in this motherfucker. So they had like the glass rooms where you could go in there.
I remember that. I remember the old school airport. Yep. I remember that the old school version of the airport, and every now and then there'd be somebody firing up and firing up some loud. I was like, oh, every now and then. But yeah, they remodeled the airport now. It's way different, you know. But you know, it's a good. It was like a cool comedy scene to develop. You know, there's only a few clubs, and so yeah, like Nashville, and I imagine Birmingham. How are the club scenes? Small.
The club scene is large. Like the Stardome is the comedy club in Birmingham. It's like the largest comedy club in the world. Like the Stardome, you know, most comedy clubs seat like 200 people. It's like that's a big comedy club. The Stardome is like 450. You know, it's humongous. The scene in Nashville is great with the comedy club because they work a lot within the system.
I got you.
They don't do that in Birmingham. The Birmingham club doesn't really do a lot for the local comedy scene.
I see.
It's very like walled off. It's kind of you either Stardome or not. And that's what one of the biggest things that blew my mind when I moved to Nashville. When I got there, like the bookers there and the people who work there, they love comedy. So they go to all the shows in the city and are constantly bringing that talent in Nashville to Zanies to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of trying to, you know, shut them down. I'm not trying to shit talk the Stardome or nothing, you know, but they don't have an open mic there, and they don't they kind of bar a lot of comics to, if you want to work there, then that's where you work, and they don't like you going to open mics and shit. They want to have all the comedy. Exactly. It's very dumb and very weird.
Yeah, I mean, like my personal opinion is just like it shouldn't matter. I mean, same is Boston in a sense is kind of like Nashville, where it's just like, look, you do you do this gig, you do as long as you working, like
right. You got to get stage time to develop as a comedian. So your stage time can't be hosting at our club once or twice a week. Like, that's not how you work. That's the place where you're supposed to do jokes that you know can kill. You can't work out new material in the middle of hosting for Chris Rock or some shit.
Yeah, at a place that sees 450. You out your fucking mind.
Yeah, so
hey guys, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I got all new jokes tonight, people. I know y'all paid to get in here, but I'm about to work some stuff out.
Yeah, I'm gonna work some stuff out. I know y'all came here to see Ricky Smiley, but I'm gonna work some stuff out real quick. Yeah.
Let me destroy the crowd with bullshit before Mike Epps comes out here. So the worst move possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Servers mad at you and shit. You're like, oh, this man fucked everything up.
Niggas with free tickets walking out the audience.
Who were your favorites coming up? Like just growing up as a kid, who were you all about?
As a kid, you know what, man? This is a name I bring up a lot as a joke. but just because I just like to do references and shit. But like, I really like the Elaine Boozler back in the day. That was one of Elaine Boozler. That was one of my favorite comics from like, she was like a comic in the 80s and early 90s during, I think, what would be like the second comedy boom of comedy reaching TV and shit like that. I like the Elaine Boozler. I like Dennis Miller, Richard Pryor.
Dennis Miller, yeah.
Eddie Murphy, all the classics. I pretty much watched it all. Like, I was addicted to comedy, man.
Hell yeah. No, like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just saw her face. It took me a minute because I was like, wait a minute. I had to like legit Google that. Okay, yeah, all right. That tracks.
She was huge back then, man. She was killing.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was a different time, brother.
Oh yeah, she's been left in the halls of history now. But Elaine Boozler was hilarious, man. I really love Elaine Boozler. Who's like on your radar now? I really like Kyle Kinane. Been loving Jim Gaffigan since his Comedy Central Presents in like '99. He became my favorite comic because he was the first comic I ever watched that I laughed at everything they said. Yeah. Like his Comedy Central Presents, he had 30 minutes of nothing but killers. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Man.
Yeah.
So I really like that, man. I like moving around. My girl Laura Peak is in LA now. She was just on the variety list of like comics to watch. Came up with her in Nashville. Love Laura. I'm so glad to see her out there getting that shine because she's amazing. I told her before she left, I was like, one day you're gonna be super important to comedy because you're that good. She's that good, man. She's gonna be a major driving force, whether writing or performing. Like Laura's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, man. No, I like that shit because not variety, but a new Vulture just came out today as we record this.
Was it Vulture? It might be Vulture then. I saw it today. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the 24. Yeah. And I reposted it. Yeah. Granted, I'm not on it.
That's how I saw it. I saw you post it. Yeah, Laura's on that list. Yeah, she's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, and it's so cool to see. I'm like, granted, you can't help but get happy for people. It's like, because it's just like the fact that and that list it's so diverse now.
Yeah.
Because I was like, all right, clearly people are wanting more comedy. That's right. Obviously, dealing with the pandemic, how have crowds been? How has comedy been in your region just since coming back from the pandemic? I mean,
it's been real nice, man. I went back out. Yeah, that's the thing. I was wondering if we were going to have that, and we've had it since the vaccine hit in like the spring of 21, and it's still going over into this year that like crowds are really giving comics a chance to knock that rust off and not have so much pressure because audiences are just so happy to be back out of the house on a consistent basis. They don't really care if you're bombing or not. They're like, I'm just glad to be back in a fucking bar listening to comedy. Like, take your time.
Yeah, no, it is true because there was like the early part of this year, I was knocking off some serious rust. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And like, and in Boston, you kind of have to bring it, but they were like, nah, man, just do your thing. Just do your thing. And so like, I'm grateful. Like,
that's a true testament because Boston is tough. So if they're giving you a chance, people are happy to be at the house because they booed the Pope in Boston, you know? Like you would get booed in Boston, nigga.
What's your worst bomb? Worst bomb ever?
Oh man. My worst bomb ever.
Or favorite bomb. Because there's a difference.
Oh, my favorite bomb is the worst show I've ever been a part of. It was insane. So the show was at this it was kind of like this nightclub / lounge. Tiny lounge too, called Steel First and 23rd. Shout out to Steel. That was our like Thursday night spot. So so you've been doing comedy long enough to understand that like hosting is harder than being just the talent, you know?
Talk to them. Please explain for those.
Hosting is so hard. It's so much harder than just somebody calling your name, you go on those stage and walking off. Hosting is hard as fuck. So only a seasoned comedian should be hosting, and definitely only a seasoned comedian should be putting shows on. Now,
yes,
one of the weirdest things about comedy is that it's the most accessible art form on the planet, but it's also the most mysterious art form in that only if you do comedy do you understand how comedy works. If people who love comedy but aren't comedians, they don't know how it works. That's the reason why when you tell your friends and family, I'm doing comedy now, and you've been doing it for a week, and they're just like, so when you going to be on Saturday Night Live? It's like, I can't, it's not a job. It's not a job. I don't just send the tape in to the Tonight Show like, hey, I do comedy now. Book.
Yeah, you're not on Indeed.com and shit.
Right. That's not how it works. So a good friend of mine, man, my man Terry T. Shout out to Terry. Terry had done one open mic, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody from his hood found out he was doing comedy, and they just gave the nigga a show. You know how people are. Like I said, people don't know how it works. So they just, oh, you do comedy? Yeah. Cool. Put together a comedy show for me. So this dude who has done one open mic, Terry's been doing comedy for 2 weeks. He's performed once.
No.
Somebody gave him the keys to the fucking kingdom. They said, here's my venue. Book the show, host the show. He's done comedy one time. He should barely be going to a second open mic with that much experience, let alone booking a show and hosting. So Terry puts the word out through the comedy scene, and he hits me up. He's like, hey, I'm Terry T. I got your name. I was asking about comics for the show. I got your name. I was like, bet, I'll be there. We get the steal. It's a Sunday afternoon, first of all. Nobody does comedy when the sun is out. This show starts at 3 p.m.
Oh, no. Oh.
We show up to the spot. No. Sun blazing. It's like summertime, too. The sun is blazing in the sky. And I knew the show was going to be bad when a car pulled up and a nigga got out the back seat and came into the venue. He was wearing crispy white Air Force Ones, crispy white Dickies shorts, a crispy all-white fitted, and no fucking shirt.
I love it.
No shirt.
I love us.
No shirt.
I love our culture. Love us.
Your listeners might not understand, but Terry's from Bessemer. Bessemer is like this small town next to Birmingham, almost like a suburb, and his hood is all fucks.
Okay.
So it's just a bunch of Bessemer motherfuckers at the show. A nigga came to a fucking public venue for an indoor event with no shirt on.
But crisp.
Crisp. White shorts, white shoes, white hat. All brand new. Like, that's an outfit. This nigga put together an outfit that didn't have a shirt. Do you know what kind of mind you are working with? When a nigga lays an outfit out that ain't got no shirt attached to it.
That's an NBA. That's a 2K outfit, bro.
I try to preach to white people what they're getting themselves into and what to look out for in certain places. And one of the things I tell them is that if you go to a public place and you see a nigga without a shirt on, but the rest of his outfit is put together, you get back in the car and leave, okay? He is there strictly for the bullshit. You know what I mean? Nigga hanging out with no shirt on is up to absolutely no good. He don't mean nobody. Everything is going to be a misunderstanding. Everything is a misunderstanding to a topless nigga. It don't matter what it is. You could want to ask that nigga, what time is it? Excuse me, sir. Do you know what time it is? And he going to go off. He going to get real defensive. Like, why the fuck you asking me what time it is? I don't even know you like that, my nigga. First off, back the fuck up. It's like, bro, I just asked what time it is. Like, that ain't a prelude to a robbery, my nigga. Like, it's 800 people standing out here. Stay away from shirtless niggas. So that dude gets out of the car at that show. I'm like, hey, this gonna be some bullshit. Sure enough. So still doesn't have a stage. The only raised area in there is considered the VIP area. So it's covered in couches. No. So our stage is this floor-to-ceiling window. That's where they put the mic stand. And it's about, inside of the frame, I would say it's about 4 inches deep and about 8 inches wide. So, and it's about 1 inch up. So that's the stage, standing in a fucking window frame. That's the stage. Again, still is just a lounge. So there's no overhead lighting to light the stage. Our spotlight / stage lighting was a fucking floor lamp from somebody's living room that they took the fucking lampshade off of. That's the stage light. Stage is a windowsill. Stage light is a fucking floor lamp.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm doing the show. There's these 2 older women sitting right next to the stage. They both look like they had to be in their 50s.
Okay.
Every time I drop a punchline, I have to wait to move on to the next joke, because not holding for the applause, but holding because one of those women is explaining the joke to the woman sitting next to her. I mean, literally after every joke, she breaks down what I meant in the fucking setup, breaks down the punchline. Now, to her credit, she did laugh once it was explained to her. Okay. She did this. I was on stage like 12 minutes. So let's say I told 8 jokes. After every joke, I had to wait for her to explain it to her friends so she could laugh. Yeah, it was straight up. It was like I was doing comedy at the UN or some shit. Yeah, straight up joke interpreter, man. That's my favorite bombing, awful show situation. That's the worst show I ever did, and that's that's the favorite time I ever felt like I bombed or was in a bad show. That's the worst show I've ever been a part of.
Did you get paid on time?
We got paid. We did get paid. But even Terry knew. He knew how bad that show was. He was apologizing the entire show. And for about 2 months after that, anytime you saw him, he would apologize for this show. And if you bring it up now, he will still apologize for this show today.
That might be. So did anybody engage with Crispy White?
No, I put the word out to all the non-blacks in there not to engage with that, man. I'm not joking, dog. I'm out here trying to save non-black people from themselves. They don't know no better. I try to help white people. That one time I had to usher some white people out the front door at a Church's Chicken because they didn't know a big fight was about to break out.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw some dude at the counter turn to another dude. He was like, hold on, homeboy, I ain't with that fuck shit. I grabbed the white people like, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Bro, the moment you
I said, we gotta go.
Oh, God. As soon as you said that, I ain't with that fuck shit, I knew.
And you know, churches are small. A whole Church's Chicken is like that whole dining room is the size of your kitchen, whether you live in a studio apartment or a big house. A Church's Chicken dining room is like the size of a den in a house. So if them niggas was going to get the squabbing, it was going to be mad. I mean, the white people just standing there like, oh, I hope nothing happens. I was like, man, we got to get the fuck out. You didn't hear. Y'all don't know what he just said, but they about to go. It's about to go down. We got to go outside.
So to educate anybody listening, not with that fuck shit.
Yeah. If you ever in a place you hear a black dude scream out, I ain't with that fuck shit, leave.
Yep.
You gotta go.
You heard it here first. I know I got Utah listeners, okay? I know I got it. Rod's just trying to look out for you. He's just trying to look out for you. Because it will happen.
I ain't with that fuck shit means run. Pretend there's a mass shooter. Get the fuck out of there if you hear a black dude scream, I ain't with that fuck shit. Get the fuck out of
there. You might be the ally. Not all allies wear capes, man, but you right now
I'm just trying, man. You know, we all we got.
CMB, we all we got.
We all we got in this world.
Oh man. What do you do? You know I'm gonna talk wellness and everything. What do you say? You play Skyrim. You know, is that your escape? You know, what do you do to take care of yourself?
I masturbate a lot.
I respect that answer.
I find it's hard to be having a bad day when you've busted 7 nuts. You know.
Yeah. No, you talked about this. I've heard you talk about this on Job Fair. So like I didn't even flinch when you said that. Like, notice I was like, yeah.
It's real. Like having an orgasm kind of has the same has the same effect on your brain as doing cocaine. Like having an orgasm activates your pleasure centers. It hits you with the serotonin and shit you need. And like, it's not a replacement for if you need therapy or something, but like, seriously, if you find yourself in a funk, come. You can't come angry, you know?
Yeah.
If you can bust a nut and still be mad, you need to call 911. You know what I mean? Like,
fair.
Just bust your one, man.
Right.
And there's worse things to be addicted to than busting nuts, you know? Put the bottle down, put the pills down, just crank up the Pornhub. You'll be all right.
Okay, I respect that. I respect your honesty. So if anybody listening, we talk wellness on the podcast. Yeah. And I'm letting you know. I had people come on here and talk about meditation. I had people come on here talking about aligning your chakras. Well, if you got to rub one out too, do it.
Yeah, man.
It's a lot cheaper. Respectfully.
It's way cheaper. I mean, if you got a good enough imagination, you know what I'm saying? Your internet could be down and you can still do some things. Like, and I think the best way to align your chakras is to not surround yourself with bullshit and bullshit people, man. Like, a lot of meditation and stuff, that's all cool, but the root of the problem is the life you're living, you know? So if you could just have the guts to cut people off who need to be cut off, not, let a bunch of poison into your brain with people's nonsense, you'll be living a way better life, man. A way better life.
One of the best advices that I've ever received, I hate admitting this shit, was from a Kanye tweet.
If a Kanye tweet is fixing your life, you was down bad, brother. Salute you for still being here.
In this tweet, Kanye says, and I'm paraphrasing, but I believe it's almost a direct quote: "How to not kill yourself? Do not surround yourself with people that make you want to kill yourself." That's the end of the tweet. But that's a great tweet.
It's
like
simple,
for anybody.
Concise.
Yeah, it's simple. It's simple, and it's like Granted, I wasn't down that bad, but it was like, to everybody, I'm good. It was just a moment, and I saw that, and my friend showed it to me as like he just sent the tweet as like a meme.
Mm-hmm.
He screenshotted it, and I was like, damn, here I am. I'm agreeing with Kanye's. This is back in 2019. I was like, man, I'm like, I'm not down that bad, but I was down, and I was like, okay. We need to fix some things. Don't surround yourself with them negative people, And so I got into my geek shit. I just by reading your bio says you into Skyrim and everything. So are you a geek?
You know what? I am, man. I would always describe myself to people as just, I'm a cool ass nerd. Like, the difference between me and the people that you would just call geeks and think of as geeks is, it's not my defining characteristic, but I'm very heavy into the same shit that geeks are. It wasn't a comfort for me. Like, I was getting pussy in high school. So I was into this shit just to be into it. I wasn't forced into it because I was some lonely nerd, But I'm way into comic books and video games and all this nerd shit, just like them. But I just don't walk around in Goku shirts. But I love nerd shit. I'm a cool ass nerd, man. You've
openly shared on Job Fair that you are a fan of the X-Men. You care to expound on that, please, sir?
Well, it started with my revelation about how ever since the first X-Men movie came out in like 2000, I have a tradition where I go see X-Men movies. Every time I go to an X-Men movie, I have to sneak Taco Bell into the theater, and I have to get my dick sucked. Because when I went to see X-Men...
That sounds like a Baja Blast to me.
I mean, real talk. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and it's because when I went to see the first X-Men movie, I went by myself, just bored, nothing else to do. It's like, I'm going to go to the movies because, I'm like a cinephile. I love film and television. So went to the movies by myself, snuck me a Nachos Bel Grande and some things in there with me. And this young lady sat down next to me, and we just got to chatting, talking about the movie and comics. And the next thing you know, my fucking head was in my lap. And I was like, yeah. So ever since then, I can't watch an X-Men movie in the theater without Taco Bell and some Dome. Got to have it. I got to have
blast for sure. Yeah, that is good. Hey, you know what? That's the love story. That movie needs to be made. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't remember her, man. Like, I remember how she looked, but then we didn't exchange numbers or nothing. It was just a moment.
Saw each other again.
Just a moment. Just ships passing in the night. Just a beautiful human moment, a great human and sexual experience that was great.
Yeah. Well, okay, if you don't mind expanding on just like how, like, sexuality is a spectrum in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, and just being up for the moment. How do you, like, to anybody that wants to experience? Yeah, repress. Just like,
yeah.
How do you just flip on go?
Honestly, man, it's sort of the same way that you go skydiving and things like that. Like, you just gotta get to the edge and fucking jump. Like the biggest thing about like 10 years ago, there was a huge like "don't judge me" movement.
Yeah,
but those people had it backwards. Like, people are always going to judge you. The way you're not affected by people judging you isn't by people not judging you. It's by not giving a fuck that people are judging you. Like, you can't stop people from judging you. You just have to not care that they're judging you. And so that's it, man. You just got to take that leap, because there's going to be so many limitations put on you, especially in America. We were founded by Puritans. This is a Puritan society. No matter
I live in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I know.
Mean, you right. You know what I'm saying? You right there.
Bro, right Plymouth Rock is 5 minutes from the house.
Yeah, like, so you just got to do it, man. You just have to find a group of people in which you can feel comfortable expressing yourself like that and know that it's going to be okay. And then, you just got to do it.
Well, I mean, and honestly, that's why it's like, it makes me really happy to hear you say that, just because, like, there have been many times that, I'm like I said, I'm a fan of the show, and I listen to, you on your podcast Story Corner, and then Uncle Rod's Story Corner, and then with Roy's Job Fair. You're open and honest. You're very transparent, and like, coming from me, a black man in the military, where I can't. I wish I could wear my hair like yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, bro, like, once I retire, man, who knows? Like, I haven't had that freedom to, like, express that freedom of expression. So when I hear you, you and JG kind of go back and forth every now and then. But I mean, like, just like, I just be sitting there kind of like rooting for you, because you're forever the contrary, and where you're always just like, nah, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that, to me, I always admire that about you, and just the way you kind of approach things. So, like, it's refreshing to hear you say that. So that's all I'm trying to say.
I appreciate that, man. But just get out there, man. Do what you like, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Absolutely. Whatever you want to do should be fine with society, but it won't be. You can't rely on society to give you happiness, because their whole thing is about dictating what makes you happy. So you just got to break those shackles, and just whatever you want to call me is fine. You just got to be comfortable enough with yourself to be by yourself, essentially, because when you make changes like that, the first thing you're going to do is find yourself alone. It's no different than anything that you're trying to get up when you think it's bullshit. Like, if you stop doing crack, then you can't hang out with the crackheads no more. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna lose all those friends. You're gonna lose that social circle. You can't just hang out in the crack house and not do crack. Nobody wants that sober person around. So you're gonna find yourself by yourself until you find some people who appreciate who you are now. And whether people want to label you a whore or stupid or whatever, like, you just got to say, fuck that. I got to do what makes me happy. Because most people spend their time, especially on the internet, trying their damnness to impress some people who wouldn't let them sleep on their couch for a week if everything fell apart for them. So who cares what those people fucking think?
Yeah. Man, dude, appreciate God. Like, were you okay? Because were you always like this, or was there just a moment where it just hit one day where you were just like, I'm just gonna do me?
It was a moment that just hit like that, man. Like I was like 16 and fucking suicidal because I was misunderstood within my own household and whatnot, you know. And that's exactly what happened to me, man. I had to break the shackles of my mom and dad so I could be me. Because, you know, most parents forget what it's like to be a child, and they always approach everything from the standpoint of they know better, but only because they're older. And they forget that, like, I can't just apply this shit you talking. Everybody I hang out with is 15, you know? My whole circle, my whole life is what is going on with children. You can't tell me, just be yourself, that makes you cool. Yeah, that's how that works in this house. That's how it would work if I was 27. I'm fucking a child. I can't just be myself and just be accepted as cool. So, but that's what happened to me, man. My, my mom, typical Southern mom, like one of the funniest things about black culture is black people don't realize how much they have in common with the MAGA people, you know? Like black people are extremely conservative. And they think that because conservatives seem to be anti-black, that they're not the same. But black people have that same shit, you know. They hate LGBTQ people, and they love God, and everything is church this and church that. That's the same thing that conservatives do. The difference is they're racist against black people, and black people aren't, so they feel like we different. And it's like, y'all the same. So, and that's what I went through as a kid, man. Like my mom, here's one of the weirdest things. So I spent 9th grade getting drunk and getting high. And it's not because that's what I wanted to do. It was because my mom was so terrified of gangs and shit, you know, the media, which conservative white people shit. The media told my mom that gangs existed and it was bad. And so everything was just gangs to my mom. So when I get to high school and I'm 14, I'm trying to hang out with other 14-year-olds. I'm trying to go to my school's football games and shit like that. My mom refuses to let me go anywhere unless I'm with my older cousin because he would protect me. And I'm like, he's not the king of fucking Birmingham. Like something could happen to me with that nigga, you know? But she felt more comfortable not realizing he's 18 and just graduated from high school. So if I got to go out with him, I am going to be doing the shit him and his friends are doing. If you'd have let me go to this football game by myself, I'd have been eating fucking nachos and sipping Coke and back in the house at 9 o'clock. But you make me go out with all my 18 and 19-year-old cousins. I'm at house parties, fingering girls and smoking weed and showing up home drunk as fuck. Like,
hanging out with the final boss of Bessemer and shit.
And so when I got free, that's the exact opposite of the shit I was doing. But that's what I went through. And so, like in Birmingham, or in Alabama in general, we have a huge high school Greek system that works just like it does in college. But it starts for us in high school. So I pledged this frat, and we got arrested for trespassing. It was basically, it's illegal to be on school grounds after 6 p.m. unless you're there on school business. We were there at like midnight, but we weren't doing it. We just pledged in the field behind the school. So we didn't do anything. There was no drugs, alcohol, or guns. And at the time, because of, you know, the bullshit about gangs and kids out of control, there was like a 10 p.m. curfew in Birmingham for everybody under 17. So we got arrested for trespassing and violating the curfew law. You'd have thought I got arrested for killing 6 people and robbing 2 banks. My mom decides, because my parents split up when I was young, so she decides I'm out of control.
Yeah.
And she sends me to stay with my dad. And it's just like, I just want to hang with the frat, you know? I just want to do kid shit. They wouldn't have it. She sent me to stay with my dad, who was a super strict disciplinarian. He was on some bullshit. I couldn't take it. And I happened to like go to my grandma's house one day, and while staying with my dad, and that pissed him off. Like, that's how the type of crazy shit he was into. He didn't want me going back to hang with my family because that was part of my problem. Nobody could tell me what the problem was, but I was just out of control. I didn't do shit. I wore penny loafers and bow ties and got arrested for trespass. That was it. But so my parents, I was on the road to being Scarface. So I ended up having to run away because of that shit, man. Like, I went to my grandma's house, and then my dad showed up mad that I was at my grandma's house. And I was just trying to visit my folks who had came in from out of town. So my dad flipped out, and my mom was taking his side. Of course, the rest of my family was like, fuck that nigga and all that bullshit he talking. And you talking crazy, fuck you too. And I just kind of dipped out in the middle of that argument, man, and had to go see my PO with my parents. And I was like, I just want to live with my grandmas. Like, if you just let me live with my grandmas, everything will be cool. Like, I'm not a problem child. I'm not trying to do nothing crazy, but they have it in their mind that I'm a certain way. So I just can't live with that. Like, I want to kill myself. And I was like, I would like to live with my grandma. And they were like, you can't do that. You have to live with your mom and your dad. And I just told them, I was like, I choose my mom, but I'm telling you right now, like, I won't be alive in a month if I have to live over there. I can't take this shit. And that's how I got free. I went to live with my mom and my stepdad. And when I showed them I was serious about killing myself, I got to live with my grandma. That's exactly how it happened. I was at my mom's house for about 2 weeks. After I told them, in a month, I won't be here if I'm over here. And straight up, I was at the house. I was just like sitting in my room, listening to the radio all day and night, extremely depressed. And I told them I was going to kill myself. You know, I told them, I was like, it's that time. I was like, I can't. In a week.
I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. But yeah, I was like, in a week, I won't be alive. I was like, I'm just telling you right now. Like, I can't. I'm at the breaking point. And I remember, again, black people and their conservative bullshit. They didn't think I had a reason to kill myself. They didn't understand it. They didn't care. All they had was reasons I shouldn't be depressed and wouldn't accept it. And I remember my stepdad told me, he's like, you know where I keep my gun? So if you're going to kill yourself, you got to do it in front of us. And I was like, all right, bet. And so I went and got his gun. And at first, I didn't know that's what he was just like, you know where I keep my gun? I'm sitting there crying and shit in front of him and my mom's. And I went and got his gun. And I sat down at the table and I gave it to him. And he pushed it back to me. And he was like, if you're going to kill yourself, you got to do it in front of us. And I picked that gun up and put it right in my fucking mouth. And they knocked it out of my hand and told me to pack my bags. You can go stay with your grandma. Because I wasn't bullshitting. I was not bullshitting, man. And that's how I broke it. Damn. And I just happened to, like I said, the fraternity I got in high school, shout out to Phi Gamma Rho, it was composed of niggas like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a genius IQ, but I was from the hood. You know what I'm saying? The hood. Mm-hmm. But I liked other shit. And luckily, the frat I got in was filled with other niggas who was from the hood, but they had genius level IQs. So them niggas could relate to the street shit, but they could also relate if you wanted to talk about Copernicus's theory of heliocentric universe. You know what I mean? So luckily I hooked up with them, man, and I got to be free. I got to be me, live with my grandma, didn't get into no trouble because I wasn't trying to do no bullshit. And that's the only reason I'm here today, man. So I'm like a true testament of like, just do what you want to do. If it's not hurting anybody, man, whatever people think is weird, whatever the fuck it is, man, just cut the bullshit people out. Because I didn't talk to my dad for like 4 years after that. I stopped talking to my dad. Yeah. That was like junior year of high school. I didn't talk to my dad again until I was a sophomore in college. And it was my choice. You know what I mean? I completely cut my pops off. And yeah, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's family. But you got to do what it takes. Because your mental health is the most important aspect of health there is. Like, if your head and your heart is fucked up, you're not good to nobody under any circumstances. So,
absolutely,
sometimes you got to do drastic shit to get your shit together. And like they say, man, protect your fucking peace at all costs, man, because that bleeds into everything in your life.
Yeah, a lot of people need to protect your peace because I'm right, dog. I'm seriously, I'm damn near speechless, man. I'm just, I really appreciate you taking the time to share that, because that was a hell of a ride. I didn't know where we was going with this.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. That's it, man. I ain't ashamed. Nobody should feel ashamed. I knew that. Nobody should feel ashamed. We're all human, regardless of how much stronger than most people's others may seem. Everybody's going through the same kind of shit. We just process the shit different, man. That's what the pandemic did to people. A lot of people lost their minds when the pandemic hit, because everything they've been using to distract themselves from their own thoughts was shut down. And they had no choice but to sit in the house and deal with the one person they hated the most, which was themselves. So a lot of people came out of the shit thriving. A lot of people came out worse than they were when they went in because of that. But you got to sit down, figure yourself out, man. And when you do that shit, don't ever let nobody steal that shit from you again.
Come on, man. Oof. God, like, dog. I was like, I didn't know. I was talking to my wife. I'm like, I'm not really sure what we're gonna get into, because I'm like, I just know him through the podcast. We've never really met. We had a couple interactions on Twitter, but man, like, I always like the way you tell stories, and you've always been unabashedly yourself and unapologetically yourself. And I feel you, man. Whatever it takes to be free. We've got enough that can hold us back, and we can be in this prison of our own mind and a prison of our own heart. And it's like, for me, it's like, whatever it takes for me to just be free of that, be free of all those mental shackles, bro. Like, I'm like, to quote the brother in Church's Chicken, I ain't with that fuck shit.
Not at all, man. Your house, like, when you're alone, man, that's supposed to be your escape. Is being back in your own place. Your friends and your family, your significant other, all that kind of shit is supposed to be your escape. Like, there's enough bullshit outside the four walls of your house, man. You do not need nothing penetrating those walls with bullshit. And that's the way I've always tried to live my life, man. Since I had that moment as a kid, it's like, if I'm not at home, I'll deal with all the bullshit the world got. So when I get home, man, I'm done with bullshit. My personal space, my personal life, that shit is going to be filled with nothing but joy. You got to fucking go.
Absolutely, man. And brother, other than damn, like, you didn't pretty much said it. Like, I really, really just appreciate you. We gotta wrap it up, but I do, plug anything you want people to check you out on, or where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Narado Moore. I'm sure that'll be spelled out in the description. Twitter, Instagram, @Rod for short, ROD, the number 4, SHORT. Check out my podcast, Uncle Rod's Story Corner, and like we said, I'm on Roy's Job Fair. Check that out, man. Yeah, come get some of these yucks. My podcast is for everybody.
It is for everybody. And no, man, like, you doing the damn thing. And I, like, listen, if I ever find myself in Nashville, bro, or you find yourself in Boston, we definitely got to get a whiskey and laugh it up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm a big Patriots fan.
Sorry, I'm a Raiders dude.
I'm not like these bandwagoners. I literally became a Patriots fan when they were the worst team in the league. I became a Patriots fan in '93 when they drafted Drew Bledsoe. Because I was about to say, that's like Ty Law era. They literally had the first pick of the draft. They were officially the worst team in the NFL when I came on board. And it was just because of Drew Bledsoe. He went to Washington State. And I don't know why, but for some reason in the South back then, they were showing a lot of fucking Washington State games. And I fell in love with Drew Bledsoe's game, man. And I followed him to New England. So I've been down. And I'm a Red Sox fan. Okay. So.
All right. Well, absolutely. Hey, listen. If you ever come my way, we got a guest room, brother. You can come on through, bring it. We got a movie theater nearby. We got a Taco Bell. We got everything you need.
I need that Taco Bell. So, I have the controversial opinion of thinking that Taco Bell makes the best Mexican food on the planet. I will stand by that. I've been to Texas.
We've had a great podcast.
I've been to Texas. I've been to California. I've been to Mexico. I've had 5-star Mexican food truck. Nobody's fucking with Taco Bell's tacos and whatnot. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Listen, we had a good podcast. We were almost done. I was letting you. We were doing the fucking victory lap. We were on the victory lap. Roll credits. Executive producer Dick Wolf. Like, we were already almost done. And then you gonna say some controversial shit like this? Are you fucking out of your mind?
I'm gonna always be real. Taco Bell's the best Mexican food on the planet. I don't care what anybody got to say.
That meat is fake. That meat is fake.
And delicious.
Okay, fair. All right. Well, fine. Eventually, well, we know what your mutant power is going to be, but if you ever... All right, man. Well, listen, Rod, I really, 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 really appreciate you just taking the time to chill with me and tell your experience, tell some stories, and just giving us a lot of laughter, man. I legit hope to see you on the road. We got to get you out here in Mass, in Boston, and Worcester. We got to get you to come out there. But funny as hell. And I love the podcast and support everything you're doing, man. Much love to you.
I appreciate it, man. Same back to you, bro.
All right, man. You take it easy.